Hey guys, welcome to Black Diesel Garage. I'm Gabe, and in this video we end up showing you little tips and things to do on a truck you're going to be selling to make it look nicer, to make it sell a little easier and for a little bit more. This truck is not the truck in the video. I've already sold that truck, and I was filming like 5 videos at that same time, so it's kind of jumpy. I missed some parts in there. The footage is kind of all over. But in this video, I think you should get the gist of what to do to make a truck look nicer to resell it. We are going to take this truck and do the same thing, and we'll be trying to make a better video on this truck. But it's not of this truck, it's of the 690, so like it, that's probably in the thumbnail. And a lot of people have asked on the other videos on that truck how much we profited from that, how much we sold it for. And I'm gonna tell you guys because you're asking, and it's kind of neat to know if you think about getting into this kind of stuff. But that truck we bought for $1,500. I put $100 into it, which isn't much. I put a lot of time into it, but I put $100 into it, paid $1,500, cleaned it all up and sold it for $4,200. So minus the $1,600, the $100 I spent in materials and the $1,500 for the truck, that's $1,600. $1,600 minus $4,200 is we got $2,600 profit out of the deal, I think. So in buying that truck, spending some time working on it and flipping it, we profited $2,600 off that deal. And this truck right here, we spent $700 on, and I'm basically going to do the same kind of video, but hopefully a little bit better this time. I still might run into things like I've been filming a video on the crew cab dually back here, and I keep running into losing space on my phone to record stuff, or phone's dying. So hopefully this one here goes a little better on filming it and I can get a more thorough video. But $700 on this truck, quite a few things I need to do to it. But we'll be hopefully soon here making a video on what we're gonna do to this truck and how much we're gonna profit from buying and flipping this vehicle. So, like I said, this video is a little bit jumpy. Hope you get the gist of the idea from it, and enjoy. All right, so I didn't show you, but I just took everything out of the toolbox, shoveled up most of the muck under there and out of the bed, and now we are gonna fire this thing up, take it to the car wash and clean it up. Gonna wash it all up, and then we'll do some other things. Very formal video. Don't worry, it will be. I'm just in a hurry at the moment, as always. I already started it a couple minutes ago, but it starts up good. Alright, so we're gonna wash this thing up, because if you make a truck look cleaner, people are willing to pay more for it. So we're gonna go ahead and wash this thing. I normally spray the engine with degreaser and the undercarriage if I'm gonna wash something I'm gonna sell. But I forgot to do that. So for now I'm just gonna wash the outside, and then later on when I'm actually ready to sell it, I'll go ahead and do the engine and the undercarriage. So for now, it'll just be the outside. So on this 6.5 here, I'm also going to change the oil on it. So I'm going to go ahead and dump a quart or so of diesel fuel in the oil to kind of break the oil down so more of it comes out and to clean up everything. And I also need to fuel the tank because I dumped seafoam in it and only had a quarter tank of fuel. So I'll put the oil in, I'll drive it, get some fuel, and I'll come back and then change the oil. All right, so we put fuel in the oil to kind of clean that up a little bit. And now we're gonna take it over and put some actual fuel in the tank. In this truck, I don't even need to use first gear. I'm just using it for the fun of it. Well, we're fueling the truck up with diesel, and we'll get back to you when we're changing the oil. So as you just saw, I have that old black nasty oil draining, and luckily it was the same. I have a Fram air filter. It's a pH 5. And yeah, I know you're not supposed to use Fram filters. You get what you pay for, and they're $5. But this truck is for resale, so I don't want to put a $20 filter on it and everything high end. I'm going to go with a $5 filter because I'm just reselling it. If they want the good stuff, they can put their own. And I might as well say, while I'm pre-filling this filter, there's big arguments on whether to pre-fill the filter or not pre-fill the filter. Some people say that it runs through the oil filter first, so if you pre-fill it, some of that oil will go through the engine without being filtered. It's brand new oil, so I don't think that matters. And some motors run it through the filter after it goes through the motor. And then also, some people say just do what the owner's manual says. Some owner manuals say to, some say not to. And of course, Chilton's is a well-known manual brand, and Chilton's usually says fill the oil filter before putting it on. And my reasoning for it, why I like the idea, is because in my mind, if it does go through the oil filter first, you have this empty oil filter you have to fill up like 5 times to get it to actually hold oil. In my mind, you're spinning over your motor, not running oil through it while it's having to prime the filter. If you fill it full, that way there's already oil in the system to be shot to the motor if it filters it before it goes to the motor. So that's why I pre-fill them. And once again, Shell, cheapest oil you can get, $15.40 for a diesel pickup or anything. I'll use $15.40 in any motor I have. But once again, this is just a resale pickup, so I'm doing everything pretty cheap. And now to fill it up, how many quarts does this thing take? I have no clue. I bought 15 quarts, so let's go ahead and throw them in there and hope that it doesn't take more than that. Well, apparently at the moment it says we take less than that by a lot, but once I start it, that may all change. So I'm going to go ahead and start it. Looks like I will not. Alright, so it's been a little bit, as you can probably guess. I did vacuum this thing out, vacuumed the carpet out. Turned out alright. Could have been better, but I just used a car wash vacuum. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clean out the interior. I'm going to use paper towels and the Armor All spray cleaner. I actually, for my own stuff, I use window cleaner for my dash and door panels and everything, just because this stuff puts a nice shiny film over things. But if you do farm work, ranch work, dirt work, whatever, it collects a lot of dust. The window cleaner doesn't collect dust. But since this I'm just selling, it's what I have on hand anyways, I'm gonna use the Armor All dash cleaner just because it makes it look nicer. And never buy the wipes. The wipes don't work good at all. I do not like the wipes, but I like the spray cleaner stuff. So, as you can see, there's some stains in the carpet. I would like to get those out, but I don't have anything good for getting the stains out. The best thing I found, I used to work at an auto body shop and we cleaned up cars that we fixed once we were selling them. But it's some stuff called Protec. From what I remember, it's a big gallon jug with like some little green bunnies and says Protec. But you spray that on the carpet, you take a dish brush, scrub it in, spray it again, scrub it in, and wipe it out with a wet rag, and it takes most stains out. But I'm gonna go ahead and soak everything down in here with this Armor All. I like to just get a healthy spray on everything. It's important, if you're gonna use this stuff, do this and then clean your windows afterwards, because it gets a film on the windows. You can see how just thick it is, and I can put a coating on stuff. But it makes it really shiny and clean looking. It's almost like polishing it. So I'll just go and spray everything down, steering wheel and all, and the doors and everything. And then I'll normally take a paper towel, fold it into a quarter size, and then just spray the paper towel down. Just get a lot of solution, wipe it all over. And as you can see there, it kind of stays looking like that after. It just makes it nice and shiny. Of course, it doesn't look thick and thin in spots and doesn't look wet, but it really does a nice job of cleaning everything. And you pop that back on. I popped the radio out. But just wipe down your whole interior like that, and then take like a wet chamois cloth and clean the door jambs. That helps a lot on them. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, then I'll show you it afterwards. All right, so another thing we gotta deal with on this truck is the exhaust. So right here's the exhaust, and it's chopped off below the cab, or actually just below the bed. But it lets a lot of coal, whatever, exhaust, pool up under the bed. So I bought some pieces of exhaust. I'm gonna go ahead and throw them on the end here and try to angle it out somewhat with what I got. It's 2.5 inch pipe. And I'm just gonna tack weld them in place. So hopefully get this kind of fixed. Well, let's see if we can do something kind of like that. I'm gonna go ahead and drag out my welder. Now, a good thing to note is you always need to unhook your battery before you weld on the truck. I did not do that, and I'm not going to do that. But you're supposed to do that, so you should do that. And you're also supposed to never do what I do. Helps if you hook up your ground. I generally do stuff like Low Buck Garage, but can you do it cheaper Low Buck Garage? So like, not much money, but worse quality. Great YouTube channel, by the way, Low Buck Garage. Sparkles. Think for actually being able to weld and welding quite a bit, I would go reset the welder and clean up the metal, but nah. That right there is 100% perfect if you're going for, I have a buddy whose buddy can weld and does exhaust work. I think we hit the nail on the head for that one. Don't know why I'm even showing you this up close. Oh well, it'll still blow black smoke. Serves the purpose I was going for. Try to get a little more of it out from under the truck. Might even get a little tip and add on there to get it even closer to the edge. Add some more on there, stick it out a little further. Now soon here I'm gonna make a tailgate bench, and that's actually gonna have good welds on it. Here's the tailgate. I'm gonna use tubing frame, put some wood boards down for the seat. There's one over here I made all out of wood, but that one's gonna be for sale, so it's gonna be a little better. All right, so another thing I'm gonna do to this is you can tell the tires dry rotted and wore out more on one side than the other. The backs are fine, but the fronts are like this. I'm going to assume it's wore out because these bushings go bad commonly, and this arm looks a lot newer than everything else down here. So I'm gonna assume it was wore out and they noticed, so they took it to a shop and had it fixed, but left these tires on it, is my assumption. So I have some used tires I'm gonna take and throw on the front of this. So let's get it fired up and take it over to the tire shop. Nope. Well, I already pulled them off of this truck, but another thing to do on these 90s trucks to make them look nice is the windshield wiper arms. A lot of these windshield wiper arms lose the paint off the 90s Fords and Chevys, and I assume Dodges too, but see that? So if you're gonna sell them, makes it look a little better if you just spray some black paint on them. Just like that, and let it dry. Another thing to make sure to do is really get your door jambs all around, even up in there, all cleaned up. It makes it look a lot nicer. So what I do is I just get a cloth and I just use straight water and wring it out. I just go through and wipe all that out. You might have to do it twice to get all the dirt out. Sometimes after the first time it'll leave streaks, just streaks of dirt. Sure, up in here definitely will. But just making it look like that will make it sell a lot easier than if it looks dirty like before I wiped it, like back in there, which I'm also gonna clean back in there. I'm gonna clean this whole thing nice and thorough. It's a little hard to do while holding a camera, and it's about to thunderstorm, so I need to hurry up with this. So I'm gonna put you guys down while I clean this stuff. So another thing I like to do to it is I like to use the Purple Power engine degreaser and degrease the whole motor and engine bay and even underneath, then take it to the car wash and wash it off. I'm gonna get started spraying this all over it. You just coat the motor, let it sit for a little bit, and then wash it off. It does really good. So another thing to do is to paint your wheels up if you have steel wheels when you're gonna be selling a vehicle. And this one, or if they're aluminum, go ahead and polish them. This one has hubcaps and beauty rings, which I pulled those off. I washed the wheels real good. And I'm actually just gonna leave them on here and spray some paint over them. So, show you guys once it's all put back together. So here's the wheel after it's painted. I just straight up sprayed some paint on it. And I know that's not the proper way to do it, but I've done it this way before, and I've done it the proper way. But this paint will probably hold on there honestly pretty well. And a lot of the rim is covered up by a beauty ring and hubcap, so all that really matters is that around there. I've sanded down rims and done it all correct, but this will hold on for quite a long time and look all right. So that's what we're going with. And here's what it looks like with the beauty rings on, center caps on, and it painted black. I think the black looks a lot better on that truck. I'm also going to blacken the tires too. And this is what the windshield wipers look like after they've been painted. Looks a lot better. And it'd be quite a bit to fix this spot on the hood, and it's on the door, and there's little dents all over the truck, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Well, thanks guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it probably wasn't quite what you wanted to see. It wasn't the most thoroughest filmed or very well done video. As I've said before, I'm really busy all the time, so I barely have any time to make videos or do any research on anything. Hopefully someday I can get to the point where I do have time to make thorough videos, but as it is, you can tell I'm not getting them out that often right now, and they're not the best, but hopefully eventually I can get to the point where I have a little more time to do better videos. But thanks for watching. All the support you guys send is appreciated. All the comments, the likes, and the subscribes, they help a ton. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.